Hello, everyone, and welcome to Immigration Live with Lee. I'm your host, Attorney Lee Marvin, and this is where I answer immigration related questions, give news updates about a number of different things that come up from immigration week to week. So, again, welcome for joining me. Thank you. Don't forget to always put your comments and questions in the comment section so I can answer questions that you have. Because again, this live is for you, not for me. Okay. So the topic tonight is fail proof marriage or relationship evidence. Okay. So I have a lot of clients that reach out to me for help with their marriage based green cards. Some of these relationships haven't been around for very long. So some people are in a relationship for less than a year, a few months, or some for many years. It's just people lived apart for a long time. So they don't have all the information that immigration says that they really want for the application for marriage-based green card. And I'm outside, so I'm swatting away mosquitoes. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so fail-proof relationship or marriage evidence. Okay, everybody needs it. Okay, if you have help from an attorney, you probably just need to go to your attorney, ask your attorney for help. But you're watching this program, which means that you either are helping somebody else or you're trying to do certain things by yourself. It's your own prerogative. I always tell people to be careful when they do things like that because immigration is relentless, they're heartless, and they will love to deny you. So just be careful what sorts of things you're trying to do yourself. So, what sort of relationship evidence can you get if you have a short term relationship? First of all, welcome to all of our fans, everybody from Instagram, from YouTube, from Facebook. Welcome. Please put your comments in the comment sections, your questions too, so I can answer them. Okay. So before I go and read these questions, I want to continue to tell you about the relationship, fail proof relationship or marriage information that you can show as evidence. Okay. Um, and then I'll get to some of these other questions. Okay. So, a lot of relationships are maybe short term. Okay. So, people don't have a great wealth of information showing years of relationship. People don't necessarily have kids together. People don't necessarily have tax returns that they file together. So, what the heck do you do? Okay. So, that's what immigration wants, but that's not necessarily what they need. Okay. Immigration has standards that they have to follow. If you can convince them of the relationship, they can't deny you. Okay. So basically, one, short term marriage, um, what do you use? Um, okay. Like if you don't have the tax returns, you don't have kids, you don't really have accounts together even. So you don't have finances that show that you both are involved in a relationship where if one of you goes down, the other one goes down. That's truly what immigration wants, but sometimes you don't have that. So what the heck do you do? Well, I always advise clients that we show the relationship. Okay. So if it's not finances, it's the relationship. So pictures are always welcome. Good idea to have pictures. You show your relationship together in pictures. Okay. So you, you can't really fake pictures together. Okay. You show yourself together doing things. It's relevant, always relevant. It's always very helpful. Um, the more pictures, not necessarily the better. The difference in pictures, yes, if you show several different types of settings, family events, trips together, those are going to be the most valuable. So I say show pictures, show trips together. If that means that you're showing plane tickets, things like that, if you went on vacation, even if you're not in the same country originally, you can meet in other countries. Okay, so that's very helpful also for people with fiance visas. We do that a lot for those clients. Okay, the other thing, probably the number one thing that is often overlooked by people, are the affidavits or the support letters from family and friends. If you got a family member who's willing to go on record is by describing the relationship of you and your significant other, and they're going to sign their name to it, that's very powerful. It's better if it's done the way that immigration wants it. And they do tell you, or at least you can kind of find what sorts of things that they want you to put in there. But it is possible to do these letters, and I found them very valuable. If you're just joining me, welcome to Live with Lee, Immigration Live with you, Lee. Put your comments and questions in the comment section so I can get to them after I'm done explaining what I'm explaining, which is fail-proof marriage-based relationship evidence. Okay, so again, pictures, trips together, but the big one are the affidavits, which is a fancy way of saying a personal statement swearing to something of a family member or a friend, someone who knows you both and who can speak intelligently about how they know you both. And then they sign their name and get it notarized. That's the key. And more important than that is that the letter really should be written by a U.S. citizen or legal resident, but it doesn't have to be. If it's a well-written letter by someone who happens to be from another country, that still has value. The most value the government places on these are for U.S. citizens and legal residents. But it is possible to show this stuff to explain your relationship if you don't have a ton of information to show that you've been together for years and years and years. Okay, if you need help with this, I do a ton of these and I've done it for years. So let me put this in the comments. So in case you want to schedule consultation, you want to ask me your questions, this is how you do it. Okay, you schedule an appointment and talk to me about your case so I can help brainstorm about what needs to be done. Okay, so another thing I say, I get people asking me, like, we're in a relationship together. If I take my spouse's last name, if I'm a female and I'm taking my husband's last name, will that help my case? And if I don't do it, will it kill my case? That is a very interesting question. I will say it doesn't matter. Okay. If you have all this other evidence, you don't have to change your last name to convince the government that you are serious about your significant other. Okay. You can do it. It definitely helps, but it won't hurt you if you don't do it. So keep that in mind. Okay. Um, so let's see. One update I wanted to give that just came out with from immigration. They are changing the application for the naturalization request. Okay, request for naturalization. They're updating the application with two things. One, they're having a gender neutral or an option for people that are transgender that they're going to be adding to that application. Okay, so again, send your questions to me in the comments section so I can answer them. I'm almost done with this update, and then I'll start going to the questions. So there is going to be the gender neutral or a changed option for gender. And the other thing is hugely helpful for people, which is the ability to change or update or renew your social security number, whether you've changed your name or basically for people that have changed their names. So you don't have to go in person. So you don't have to go to the Social Security Administration office. You can actually do it online. Um, you can do it on your application for naturalization. Okay. One second, I'm getting messages. Okay, so that is a big update. So again, gender neutral selection. But the thing that's going to interest probably more people is updating your Social Security card, renewing it with your new name or um, your information. Okay, so that's going to be very helpful. Oh my goodness, Aurora. Hi, Aurora. Miguel and Aurora, hope you guys are doing great. Some of our favorite clients here saying hi to us. So thank you, Aurora, Miguel. Hopefully you're doing great. Hopefully you're enjoying the very beautiful weather here in Michigan. Um, okay, another thing I want to talk about. I always try to put information about um, requests for evidence because so many people are getting requests for evidence these days. And one of the things I've gotten recently is from um, immigration asking for different types of birth certificates. Okay. And I will say that I had a client that was enormously angry because even though we follow the instructions, follow the requirements of immigration, again, I've been doing this for over 11 years, so I know what the requirements are. We submitted birth certificate information and they got nasty with us, right? And in part because this is a foreign birth, actually, two different countries. This person was born in country A, immigrated to country B, and they had the government didn't like. So the government submitted a request for evidence to us with a fairly tight turnaround time for us to provide what's called a long form birth certificate. Okay, that's kind of new to me. That's something that they've never done in the past. So, what's the point now? The point is that immigration is hard to work with. Okay. They will ask for things repetitively. They will ask for things that is not at all in the guidance that they provide. The bottom line is you can't do a darn thing about it, but respond to the request for evidence in a timely fashion. So don't get bent up if you get weird questions from immigration, because that's immigration. So if you need help with it, um, if you can reach out to me, you can click on the link and you can schedule a consultation. Okay. Um, Miguel says, I'm the best attorney. Keep up the good job and God bless you. Igualmente, Aurora, appreciate very much. Tell Miguel I appreciate it very much, and we look forward to seeing you guys again soon if we can, hopefully. Okay. Um, okay. So moving on. Okay. Questions. Let me go up to the questions because again, if you have specific questions about your green card process through a spouse or whatever, there's a lot of things that you got to be aware of that you don't necessarily know until it happens. Reaching out with an attorney and talking to an attorney about these things is one way to avoid problems. Um, Click on the link and schedule a consultation to speak with me if you have questions or concerns. Okay, so I'm going to go to our questions. Okay, let me go up here. Um, okay, okay. Very personal question about would I recommend becoming an immigration attorney? I'd love to be one, but I can't afford it, and I'm scared it might not be you might not be rewarded well. So immigration law is one of those things that you got to have a passion for. You've got to do it because you actually want to help people. Do them to a millionaire. So I will be as good at it and be people. I a lot of other ways. Connection might not be the best. Um, so if you can hear me, okay. Sorry about that. Where our connection is a little bit messed up right now. I really apologize for that. I'm going to try to figure out a workaround. Um, but until I do, I want to answer these questions a little bit quickly in case our connection goes down. I'm out here because of the ambiance, but it might not be the best decision. So let me go to the other questions here again. Put your questions in the comment section, please, so I can answer them in due course. Let's see here. What do we have? Okay. Fiancés with Jenny. Thank you very much. Thank you kindly for that compliment. Um, So again, I always tell people specific questions. Sometimes people are shy. They don't want to broadcast all their information about their significant other, about their life. So if that's you, please make sure that you click and schedule a consultation to talk with me about your sensitive information. Okay, I work for paramilitary in my country and resigned before coming to the United States. I'm due for naturalization. Does this affect my citizenship? Okay, so I will tell you, Sonia, you have to tell, right? Will it invalidate you? Probably not, but I will tell you that it depends on what country you were in the military for, okay? There are certain countries that immigration is going to deny you because the regime that you might be a part of might be a very hostile regime and might be very detrimental to the world. So they may hold that against you. You may need to schedule a consultation with me so we can talk more about that. Okay. Um, but together. That's I love that a friend. Um, but I love the fact that you're trying to do the is a French word. It was is you probably know that. So fiance visas can be tricky things. Okay, they can be um, they can. That's my okay. I'm gonna try to move a little bit here, folks. I'm going to try to move closer to the signal. Okay. So I will say, okay. So fiance visas, if it's done right and there's no requests for evidence or there's no issues, a fiance visa can take, about a year for the fiancé visa part of it, and then for the embassy, it can take up to 4 months or so. So keep that in mind when you're going through these processes. I will say that the most important thing is to make sure that it's filed right, okay? Because if it's filed improperly, or if there's any amount of waiting for a request for evidence or things like that, it just adds months and months of time on top of it. But generally speaking, roughly 12 to 15 months. Okay. Um, so welcome to all of our friends who are joining us. I apologize for the connection was a little bit crummy today. So thank you for everyone who stuck with me. Please post your questions in the comments section so I can get your questions. I've already answered a bunch and I've already explained very important information on showing your relationship if your history is shorter than what immigration wants. Um, the good thing about all this is you can go to our YouTube channel and you can check out this video later on this week. If you've missed any of it, you can go and you can check it out. Don't forget to subscribe and all that good stuff. But you can check out my answers and the questions by going onto my YouTube channel. Um, okay, let me just look for. I've got other questions here. Um, so what does 4 years and one rule mean with regards to citizenship? So 4 years and one, I've never heard it phrased like that, but 5 years is the general requirement for someone to be eligible for naturalization. Okay. So usually anything less than that is related to marriages to US citizens where the time is reduced. Okay. So that is something that that could reference. Um, Again, I haven't heard the 4 year and one rule. Okay. I haven't heard it explained like that. Um, so it's probably related to the marriage to a US citizen. Um, that's what I'm assuming. Yep. And as you guys see, my camera's not the best because I'm trying to sit closer to the internet. So again, bear with me. I'm not a professional newscaster. I'm just a lowly immigration attorney, so content is more important than the visual, I always say, although we try to do our best here. So let's go back to the questions. Again, welcome everyone from Instagram and from YouTube. We've got friends that are always shouting out to us, so thank you for everyone who continues to support us, even when your process is already done and approved. So what other questions do you have? Because I've got another question that a client asked, wanted to know about parole in place and wanted to know what age is required for the sponsorship or the qualification for parole in place. That's a double answer, because parole in place, of course, is for people who are in the military. Military can sponsor their parents or their significant others, so their spouses. That's what the parole in place is designed to do. It's for family members of U.S. military personnel, okay? So the second part to that answer is that the normal rules of sponsorship of the green card is what you need to look at. So if you're sponsoring your parents, it is you've got to be 21 years old in order to sponsor your parents, okay? 21 years of age to sponsor your parents. You've got to be 18 or older to sponsor your spouse. So for parole in place, as long as you're old enough to sponsor your spouse or your parents, you can do the parole in place as long as you're in the military. And you have to show that you're in the military for a long enough time, and you have to show your eligibility, and you've got to show a very important part of it is that you need it, meaning that this special benefit for your family member is actually something that is important or necessary for you as the sponsor. They don't just give them out. You've got to convince the government of the need, that it's deserving of you and your family, okay? So that's a question that we get a lot of. And if you have questions about the parole in place program, please click on the link and schedule a consultation to talk to me. I have a lot of clients who do this because it is an amazing process. Last week, I talked a bit about parole in place. I also talked about the 245I process, or the Life Act, which is very helpful for people that that have been here for years out of status. There's similar processes, and they're really darn useful for people. So check it out. Click on the link to reach out to me if you have questions. And the reason my screen is shaking is because I'm not at a table, because my internet is kind of crappy right now. Okay. So bear with me. I can try to sit again and see if we have any problems. But we just adapt and overcome. In the military, that's a very common phrase that we use, is adapt and overcome. As a lawyer, I'm using it all the time. So adapting, okay? So hopefully that's better, and hopefully the signal is stronger. I need to, amp up my internet here, I guess. So again, if you're just joining us, welcome, and please submit your questions. Okay, I've got a question here. Is there anything like too early to leave a marriage? If your U.S. citizen wife brought you to the U.S. and started abusing you, but it's just month. Very sad to hear that, Wandy. And I think you've been on this program a number of times in the past. I will tell you that it's never too early to protect yourself from harm and from abuse. If that's happening, you need to make the right choices, and you really need to schedule a consultation, because I know over the past several weeks you've asked very, very heavy questions, and you keep asking them, which leads me to believe that you really need to schedule a consultation so I can talk and help you figure out what needs to be figured out here. It is possible to do this. I do have videos where I talk about this very topic on my YouTube channel. So if you've already checked it out and it's not enough information for you, click that link and schedule that consult, okay? Let's go back here, see if there's any other questions. Looks like we're good over here on Facebook and YouTube. So Instagram, again, thank you. Yes, Wandy, my pleasure. Just reach out because it sounds like you're in distress and you really need answers. Okay? Other questions? Almost the end of the program night. Uh, my action is a bit okay. Do this. Okay, so I guess the importance of being out in the beautiful outdoors is out by action. So again, I commit to week 2 to make sure that interruption 2, you guys don't miss much. Again, to join us next week, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, for more questions from Immigration Live with Lee. Um, and again, always schedule that consultation. If you have questions that weren't answered on here, or if you have questions that you just don't want to ask in front of others, then scheduling your consultation is the best idea. So please do that, okay? Let's see, any other questions here before we sign off for tonight? Um, so no, Wandy's question, I got to that. Again, it is absolutely possible to provide information to immigration to show that your relationship is legitimate, even if you're in a short-term relationship. And this is, full circle from how I started about fail-proof marriage evidence. Okay, watch my video, the beginning of this video, so you get those tips. If you have a question, if you need help with it, I highly advise that you schedule a consultation so we can talk about it, so I can help you. Okay, so that's that. Um, any last minute questions? Please type them in now, so that we can answer them before I have to end the live here, and fix my connection for next week. And we're going to try something else new next week, I believe. We're going to have people having the ability of asking their questions live instead of just typing the questions. So if you want to be on there, watch for next week. I'm going to have instructions on how we're going to do that. But again, thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time and your questions. And check out the YouTube. Schedule the link or click the link to schedule a consultation if you have questions for me. Thank you. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next week.